There we go, we're live.
Hi, good day, everybody. This is John Fulkveen from Seat Academy, and we'd like to welcome you to our very first panel discussion webinar, first of many. The purpose of these webinars is to expose people to online homeschooling or online schooling, and we've got a panel of some tutors as well as Deputy Academic Director, parents as well, and our sales manager, Melissa Davids. So I'd like to start by just going through what our background is. We started last year, July, so we've just been, we're 1 year old now. We've 1 year old, sorry. And our vision really and our mission at Seat Academy is to prepare our learners for the world that they are entering. So that's a world of, at the moment, it's the world of the fourth industrial revolution. And it's a world in South Africa, for example, where currently, officially, more than 65% of young people are unemployed. So it's a world in which we need to teach entrepreneurial skills from a very early age, and we need to teach skills such as coding, which we have as an additional subject all the way from grade 2 to grade 9. It's a subject that all our learners do. So stuff like coding and robotics and those kind of things, which make it easier when the learners go into the place of work. So our strategy around that is to not just teach the normal things that learners need to know to pass subjects, but we're looking at things like creativity, collaboration, and so on. Critical thinking, communication, those are critical skills that are needed because you're going to have to basically reinvent yourself multiple times, you know. For our parents 15, 20, 30 years ago, you'd have one job for quite a long length of time, but we're living in an age now where you actually have to create your own job, or you've got the gig economy. So your ability to learn, unlearn and relearn is also very important, and that's part of our strategy in terms of our approach. And then the last thing I just wanted to chat about is in terms of safety. Online safety is a priority for us at Seat Academy, and we've found ways in which we ensure that our learners are safe online, and we treat safety as a top concern and priority for us. So that's who we are at Seat Academy. We want to provide a very affordable option for parents. Instead of going to school, a traditional school, we're providing an affordable option for our country. That's our goal here, to provide this world-class education at the same cost as what it would cost government to send a child to school at a no-fee school. So that's basically our goal, is eventually we want government to give parents an option, because there's no reason in this day and age as to why we still have such poor educational outcomes, where only 4 out of every 100 matric learners, for example, are able to do maths at sufficient level. So those are the subjects, the gateway subjects is where we're struggling, and that's where we can come on board. And even if somebody has done matric, if they've done the wrong subjects, they could do matric over with us. So it's another opportunity for them to actually get the subjects right that they need in order for them to move forward. I'd like to just hand over to Claire to discuss, in terms of class attendance, how do we check the quality of work and tests and assignments and so on. So Claire, over to you.
Thanks, John. I'd just like to start off by saying that we are a homeschooling provider. So we basically do from grade R up until grade 12. All our work is done online in live sessions with the tutors. So we have 2 categories. We have live sessions with the tutors online, and we have pre-recorded video lessons online. Our main platform that we use is Google Classroom and Google Drive. This is where the children can enter into the classroom and have one-on-one conversations with the tutors as well as the lessons being provided. This is where we do our class attendance as well. We can monitor how many kids are in the class, who all is joining, when they joined, and when they perhaps get disconnected for some reason. Sometimes the weather can be bad and they get disconnected by accident. So that is how we monitor our class attendance when the children are live with the tutor. All work is handed in via Google Classroom and Google Drive. So when the tutors set work for the learners, it is all uploaded into Google Classroom that we are using. And the children are able to see all of their work that is set for every week of the term. Their homework is also scheduled in the Google Classroom where they can see what work they need to do. This can include assignments, assessments, and even projects that the tutors have set for the learners to do. We have many different ways that the kids can actually hand in projects as well, which is exciting. Sometimes we want the kids to do a video for physical education, and they are able to actually record themselves on a video and put it up into Google Classroom for the teachers to mark and assess all the children's progress.
Thank you very much, Claire. Awesome. So Abigail, do you want to explain to us from a parent's perspective, how have you experienced Seat Academy? What are some of the challenges that your son, Mikhail, has had and so on?
Hi, thank you, John. Yes, I've been with Seat. My son has been with Seat Academy since last year, July, and that was Seat basically started a few weeks before that. And my son had bad anxiety due to school and just the way kids are handled in schools, in class. And he didn't feel like he fit in. And, the pressure of writing things, and I just explained to my mom yesterday, they pushed him so hard on writing faster, and then they can't read it properly, that the digital world just sort of takes that away, even though they still do writing, but not as much. And that pressure made him anxious. And then he joined Seat Academy, and that just went away. He's enjoying it so much. He's able to answer the questions properly and have time to think about it. That just makes so much difference. I don't think people realize the pressures that their kids go through to try and live up to the standards of other pupils. And with Seat Academy, that is, for me, not there. Each child is looked after with their individual strengths, and the tutors find out what the problem is with the specific child. In the beginning, there were quite a few hiccups, only because of systems that needed to be in place because it was brand new. And all of those hiccups have been sorted. Every time there's anything one parent has a problem with, it is being dealt with and sorted out. We also have these amazing customer service ladies now. In the beginning, it was like, who do I phone? Who do I speak to? And now they even ask you in advance, is everything okay? And then the phase heads, it's just amazing the service you get that I did not experience at any school ever, because I have moved him and had to move him back. It was just a stressful life just with the schools. And I can advise anyone, especially with kids who have anxiety or, they sort of average, but then they can excel. My son got a 7 in maths now. He got 100% in NST, and I asked his tutor, are you sure? And he said, yes, I'm sure. Look at his test. Look at his assignments. Look at his physical projects that he's doing. And my son is so proud, and his father is so proud. It's life-changing, absolutely life-changing.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for that, Abigail. We've also got Tracy, that is normally on the other side of the microphone, one of our parents. Tracy, would you like to tell us about your experience and as a parent, how have you experienced Seat Academy, please?
Thanks, John. Yeah, I was a bit nervous as a parent, with this whole online and all the rest when my child started. But I've got to say, she actually beat me to it because she was able to show me what she was doing. It's been fantastic. I mean, it's taken the pressure off me. Starting work at 4 a.m. in the morning is no fun and games. Then you've got to come home and try and sort out schooling. So, yeah, Rebecca, logs in for her class lessons, does her lessons, homework needs to be done, she does it. Communication on WhatsApp is great, because if she's got any questions, she can ask it on WhatsApp to the tutors themselves, or if she's got a question, she'll WhatsApp me if I'm not at home and go, Mum, this is what's going on. The whole thing with Seat is that I can log into her stuff and see exactly what is required. So it's all like really open transparency. So parents know exactly what their kids have to do, when it's due by, and what's required. So yeah, I've got to say Seat has been amazing for me this year. With the whole COVID and the fact that Rebecca's getting really good marks, with 99% of her subjects.
Wow, that's awesome. Thanks so much, Tracy. I just wanted to refer to two of the comments on Facebook. Tandeka says that her baby's 5 next July. What age must they be to do grade R? Claire, do you know what, if she's 5 next year in July, can she go on to, we've actually got an online ECD program, Tandeka. So does she go on to, does she go to grade R next year, or do we first push her through the ECD program?
A child must be at least 4 years old to be able to register for the grade R program and must turn 5 by the 30th of June. So depending, she could be more than capable of joining our grade R program actually for next year.
Yeah. Okay, no, awesome. Maybe Tandeka, what you need to consider for this year is maybe to join the online ECD program. We've got that program. There's no live classes for that, but it's basically, certain programs that you run as a parent that we give you access to. So maybe just if you can contact Melissa. At the bottom here, maybe we can just put Melissa's number. Melissa, if you can maybe just put your number at the bottom there so that Tandeka can contact you around that. But I mean, it seems that you do qualify for your baby your young toddler to start with us. We've got a lovely grade R tutor that the kids absolutely love her. Thank you, Mel. Mel basically said your comment was that the daughter's 15 and she's happy and you're still able to travel. That's quite nice. She's spending a lot of time on technology. Mel, our plan really is we want to start introducing some extracurricular online activities as well. Things like music and, even, I was thinking even something like karate or whatever other social, societies and clubs our folks can do. It's our pleasure, Tandeka. So we're looking at those kind of activities and societies so that learners are balanced. I taught at Sea Point High School from 2000 to 2004, and I saw the value of clubs and societies in producing leaders. And those clubs and societies, a lot of them will be run by our learners, especially in the senior grades. So we are definitely looking at that so that it's not just all about the work. There has to be balance. In fact, Melissa's suggested we bring on board some musicians. So I think that program is going to start soon if it hasn't started already. Thank you very much for that. I just wanted to read out some of our technical issues. So basically, what we're offering is online homeschooling from grade R to grade 12. It's CAPS aligned. Our main thing is Google Classroom and Google Drive that we're using at the moment. We obviously continually improving our systems. That's one of our goals. Is using whatever we can and then improving that systems. There's live lessons every day, as Claire said, via Google Meets for more in-depth discussion. Classes are between 8:30 and about 11:30 or 1 p.m. for some of the senior classes. There's online tests, exams, and assessments. That's important. The webcam must be on during that time. The only time the learner goes outside of the school system is basically when they have to write their final matric exams. And we are registered with Sakai, which is a distance education provider that's registered with Umalusi. So in terms of if somebody wants to register, the requirements is basically just the last grade report, birth certificate. They must create their own Gmail account, download Google Meets, but all of that information is basically assisted. We've got, as Abigail said, we've got service representatives, Sasha and Sia, that assists like that. Thanks, Lindsay. The extracurricular activities are definitely coming. And then in terms of, they must obviously have a laptop or tablet with a webcam for exams as well as a smartphone. Stable Wi-Fi connection is important. A printer is optional, but oftentimes we're trying to save the planet by having to do as little printing as possible. As a teacher, on a term, every term I basically got rid of about 3 black bags full of paper. That's how much paper they use at school. And I mean, the amount of paper that's used is absolutely crazy, you know. So in terms of the student fee structure for this year, there are still places available for grade R, grade 2 to 7, and grade 9. We don't have place for grade 1 and grade 8. It's $5.50 per month. Fees are normally payable in advance per month. So we've got that fee structure is pretty. For next year, it's increasing slightly. But not by much. So a child must be at least 4 years old to be registered for grade R and must earn at least 5 by the 30th of June. Yeah, I think with Tandeka's child, we can possibly make an exception because it's July. We just need to check with the Department of Education as well. But, you know, I think if she maybe starts with our ECD online program this year, we can then do an assessment at the beginning of next year to see if she's ready for grade R. Yeah, I think yeah, that's basically everything that I wanted to say from a technical perspective. Is there any other comments from our panelists? Are there any other questions from Facebook? I am monitoring the questions from Facebook.
There is something from Mel.
Okay.
If you can respond to that regarding a school camp.
Yeah. The camp, in terms of school camp, yeah. For us, it is a bit difficult, Mel. But it's possible. You know, what we're doing at the moment is we're looking at partnering with people. So as a parent of SEED Academy, you understand how systems work. So I think maybe just send the proposal through to Claire and then we can discuss it. It would work. I'm pretty sure that a lot of our learners, especially after COVID, would like to go on camps, you know, and it's an opportunity and it's something we can make available to our parents, you know. Yeah, I see Tandeka, she'll be 5 years on July the 5th. I think, yeah, we shouldn't penalize you for 5 days. I think she can start with grade R then. I remember I was 5 when I started, but my birthday's in April. You know, I was 5 years old when I started school, and I was 17 when I finished. But my mommy was a teacher, so I was a very lazy young man. And that time, all your marks were the final exam mark, you know. And I remember the one year, I think I was grade 5 or 6, and I just didn't study at all. And my mother had to sit up at night with me and until I studied, or else I would have failed that year because I didn't study at all. But you know how naughty young boys are. I'm sure you've experienced it, Abigail. The boys,
the struggle is real.
the boys don't like studying at all, eh?
That's why I'm so happy that we're going to have an assessment timetable, because so that I can say, listen, you're not getting food if you don't do your work first.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the challenge with modern school and why our system works well is our kids are at the moment, the entertainment is Netflix, YouTube, games, and so on. So for a child to sit in a 45-minute class to learn something is a bit crazy in this day and age. And that's how the school system works. Whereas what we're trying to do is we want the child to learn by themselves. We have a hybrid system. So there's pre-recorded video lessons. And then basically what we want to do in the class setup is look at those higher order things: creativity, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and so on. And so I think, sorry, I just got a question here from Jacqueline van der Merwe. Her youngsters will be 3 in September. Yes. With our online ECD program, we've just launched it in July. And Jacqueline, what we've got is we've got 4 classes. It's 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. So you're welcome to contact Melissa about joining that particular class. So yeah, I was just saying about just a important point for people to note, and we're not really comparing ourselves and competing with other online schooling providers. What we'd like to do is make this a real alternative for people. I know that Lindsay commented that she's keen to get her son on board, and we want parents to look at it as a genuine option, because the world has changed, and my feeling is that the traditional education system is not providing our learners with the outcomes that's required. So, for example, from Seed Academy's perspective, we're going to put a huge emphasis on maths and physics from grade 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, especially grade 8 and 9. That's where you build the foundation. I myself am a maths tutor, so I know that learners are able to do maths. The only thing is that there's not a system that helps them to excel at the specific subject. So we've got a brilliant maths head, Sylvia, and we're bringing on board, there's going to be a big emphasis on ensuring that our high school learners do well in maths, because it's a gateway subject. And when we bring gets on in terms of 4IR, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, all of them say the same thing. We need to be preparing our kids for jobs that have not yet been created. They need to solve problems that have not yet been created. So we need to understand that our learners need creativity, critical thinking, communication skills. They need to be able to collaborate with others. So those are soft skills that the traditional schools, especially maybe not the top 1 or 2% of schools, but 90% of schools don't focus on that because they're just so busy trying to get done with the curriculum. And so I think one of the big benefits of homeschooling is that you're not wasting time. I think, Tracy, you'll agree with us that you don't have to spend a half an hour getting the child ready in the morning, then a half an hour you must take them to school, then at school, are they listening for 45 minutes? Then they come home. Then it takes another. So you're already saving 2 hours a day just there and back, So yeah. I love what. Do you have any comments, Tracy, before I comment on what Mal said? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe thanks. Maybe we must bring Mel on board for our next webinar.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
So Mel was saying that she loves what we're doing for Generation X parents because it's made parenting Generation Z so much. I love that comment, and I think I would recommend it to any parent who's looking for flexible and nomadic lifestyle. Just a quick question: would see it help with the registration? Yes, no, definitely. We assist with that process of registering children via the Department of Education. And yeah, that's why I said I love the fact that UCT is coming on board with the online school, because I think that we're slowly going to see a change in legislation that allows for online schooling. Once that happens, then I feel that it's going to make it much easier to help our generation experience. I love that comment there. I think we must use that. Mel seems to be good at marketing. We can help Generation Experience raise Generation Z. And I think that was the point that I was making, Mel, in that the traditional school system hasn't caught up. They haven't even caught up with the third industrial revolution, to be honest with you. Never mind the fourth industrial revolution. So the school system was originally created to prepare kids for the first industrial revolution, for lifelong jobs that they're going into. But that's not the world that our kids are entering. It's not the world of today. Today's world is you must be an entrepreneur. I did a bit of Forex trading and training. So something as simple as training our grade 10, 11, and 12s how to do Forex trading, it's a source of income, how to trade on the stock market. It links up with all the subjects, doing accounting to help understand how shares are structured and so on. They don't do that at school level. So we are going to bring on board things that help our learners prepare them for the future. All our kids are learning coding from grade 3 or grade 2, Claire, all the way to from grade 2 all the way to grade 9. Just imagine that. Every single child that comes through Seat Academy will be able to code, So that means that they'll have a skill that's in demand. So it's about preparing our kids for the future they need to enter. It's not about preparing kids for the future, for our 1980s, 1990s, 2000. We want to prepare them for the future. Okay, guys, I think I've spoken enough. I used quite a lot of words there. Are there any closing comments from anybody? Melissa, I know that you're not going to be speaking today, but do you want to have any closing? Melissa's our sales manager. So any closing comments from anybody?
I just want to add something quickly, please, John.
Sure, go for it.
I just wanted to add on to what you were talking about with the students and the classes. Our class system that we have at the moment, kids don't need to be in school anymore for 8 hours a day, 6 hours a day, sitting in a classroom, 45 minutes a session. It's not necessary anymore. Rather, our structure that we're doing is 30-minute intersessions that the kids join, where it's quality work that's given to them, and we're doing it in a way that the kids are actually taking in the information and can actually provide feedback not only to our parents of what they're learning, how they're coping, but can also have one-on-one conversations with the tutors where they can say, I don't understand something, I'm not following, instead of just sitting in a classroom and being quiet and not saying anything that they don't understand. Our kids are able to actually tell us, I'm not understanding this material. And that's the lovely thing about how the system has changed. It's just a matter of the rest of South Africa waking up to that we no longer need to do classes that way anymore. This is a whole new generation that we're building. And that's what we're trying to do, is prepare the kids for the future no matter what it is. It's maybe not what we think it's going to be in 10 years, but to make them ready for what is coming. So
Perfect. Thanks, Claire. I appreciate that. And thanks, Lindsay. Oh, sorry, Tracy, go for it before I comment on.
No, I just wanted to say, you know, a lot of people have said, yeah, but your child doesn't get the socialization, which is totally false. Because with the online classes, they make friends, even though they may not be in the same room together, and physically touching. Kids still get the socialization because there's so much other social media. So it's WhatsApp and hey, check the YouTube out, check this out, you know, do this. So they still get all that socialization. And the question I was asked is, when's your child going back to school? I said, my child's not. She's going to continue doing the online schooling like this.
Awesome.
Sorry, John. I just want to add to Tracy's thing there quickly, and that's what I love. People are mistaken that homeschoolers aren't socialized. I was a homeschooler myself. My mom joined a bunch of clubs, and that's the lovely thing that we're wanting to offer the kids now is that opportunity to have extracurricular activities to do. But again, I agree with you, Tracy. The lovely thing is our kids do get to chat in the classes and make friends. And even better than that, they're not even in the same province. So it's not even a matter of, oh, I live down the road from you. It's, oh, you live in Pretoria or Durban, and I live here in Cape Town, and oh, you're from PE. And the way the kids can now communicate and interlink the provinces together, which the kids never had before in the schools. You know, where you think outside of where you live, now the kids are able to have friendships with people that don't even live near them.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's true. I think that definitely socialization is something that is part of what we do. That's why we have live classes. And I just wanted to come to Lindsay's comment in terms of Lindsay's obviously in the IT space, and she was saying that jobs in automation and IT are in high demand. So what's nice about it is that our kids one day, because they can code, if they're coding, they can go into any job, you know. So ultimately that's the first thing that we're looking at, you know. So yeah, and thanks, Mal, for that comment in terms of the fact that there is socialization and that Kaketso has many friends from her class. And yeah, I think that because we're so used to things, it's difficult to change. And I think that change is here. The old way of doing things is no longer applicable. So the definition of craziness is to do things over and over and over again and expect a different result. But our kids need to basically be ready for the world they're entering. And if the only job you can get is as a coder, then so be it. I was a teacher, and in 2008, I decided I wanted to go and become a consultant for Pastel, and I became a Pastel consultant. And it was only because of luck that happened. But if I was to be in that same position now, it would be a lot more difficult, you know. And then just a closing comment, because we're trying to not make it longer than half an hour. So Cecile says here that the guys are doing a great work. I have a child with ADD that loves going to school and study independently for the first time. Love that, man. And that's why we do what we do. I mean, we try to, as best as we can, accommodate every single learner out there. Our main focus, everything that we do as ETH Academy, is built around preparing our learners for the future. That's our mission. And by doing that, we are hoping that we're able to change South Africa, because we want people to see the results. You know, I believe that our kids are going to be doing maths at a much higher level, that they're able to excel at that subject, physics, as well as the other subjects, as well as all those other things. You know, everybody's individual, so maybe not every single child will end up doing maths and physics, but we're glad that at least everybody can do programming. You know, I was even considering bringing on somebody to teach Mandarin at some stage. What do you guys think of that? Just Tracy, what do you think? I mean, Tracy's exposed to the world on a daily basis. Do you think that is something that will help the kids for the future if they can speak Mandarin, Tracy?
Okay, with that being said, yes, it would assist. However, I think what CETA is doing with incorporating the African languages is better. I believe that because we stay in South African, we're South African, our kids need to be able to speak other South African languages.
Okay.
So my first thing is, yes, bring on the Mandarin, that's no problem. But the South African languages are the ones that need to be focused on.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, one of our focuses, thanks for that, Lindsay. I think we need to bring Lindsay on as a panelist as well, because Lindsay is working from home as well. And so that's going to also become the new normal, So we are preparing our kids for that. But just a closing comment from my side is that we basically offer as a first additional language isiZulu, isiXhosa, Sesotho, Setswana, and Sepedi. And eventually we'd like to offer all the South African languages as well as possibly Mandarin. I was close to employing a Mandarin tutor, but I think we'll probably look at that down the line. But I think it is important, and I think that what we'll probably be doing from next year is having, especially from that grade R foundation phase level, is having the learners do 3 subjects. So they do English, Afrikaans, as well as one of the other South African languages like isiZulu or isiXhosa. And I think that will benefit them over the long run. Thank you. Thank you. That's Prof over there, Prof Jonan. Thanks for that, Prof. So I think guys, I'm very proud of what our team is achieving, and I'd like to thank everybody that are panelists. And I think the next time we need to actually bring Prof on board as well as a panelist. We've got such a lot of wonderful parents like Tracy and Abigail, just to share with us where they at, because our parents like Lindsay, for example, who's coming on board, son is coming on board next year, they are there in the world of work. And we want to use this webinar series just to see how, as SEET Academy, we can assist our learners to basically reach their potential. So thanks, everybody, for this time. And we'll see you guys next Saturday. We're going to be having these sessions every Saturday from about 10 o'clock until about 10:30. I see that we've gone over that today, but it was awesome chatting to everybody. Thank you, Claire. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks, Abigail. Keep well, guys.
Thank you, John.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for
Bye.
the comments from the folks as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.